guys, how's it going? We were gonna make this video 2 weeks ago, but a few delays. He was trying to watch the rest of the original films, and so we just didn't get to make it until now. But before we launch into talking about all of them, I have a code, like this free movie ticket here for Star Trek Beyond. We've been giving away a few of these. No one's been taking them.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. So here, if this camera will focus this time. Yeah, I'll read it. So the code is WEVQ, all capitals, 5L7C JGVJ. So just maybe I'll show it one more time so you kind of know what you're doing.
You might get it. I'll put it in the description below too. But anyway, yeah, like we said, not many people have been actually taking these, and it's a free movie on us. So go to our Ghostbusters review. I think the code is still there if you want to go see that movie.
And I gave away the Jason Bourne code on Instagram.
Yeah, so if you want to go see a free movie, it's on us.
Yeah. So let's talk about Star Trek, Andrew. Are you a Trekkie, first off?
I'm not here to point sides or anything, but I like Star Wars more. But Trekkie there's good films in the series.
Definitely. I'm not a Trekkie. Like, I'm not all hardcore. I don't have the Trek dictionaries of all the alien species or anything. I'm not like hardcore. I do enjoy the movies. I've seen a few episodes of the show. Have you ever seen any of the shows? There's a bunch of shows, of Star Trek shows.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever even seen a minute of the show.
Okay. Are you planning on watching that new show that's coming out?
I think I'll try it, but there's so many Star Trek shows, I feel like it's so much commitment to try to watch one.
Yeah, that's true. But if I did watch any of them, I'd probably just watch the original series. Maybe I've seen a few episodes of The Next Generation, but I don't know. I have lots of shows I'd rather watch than those other. I think
I just stick to the movies almost.
Yeah. So the movies started off 10 years after the original show with Star Trek: The Motion Picture. We've both seen this one. And you watched this one about a month ago, right?
Yeah, I would say a month ago.
And what do you think about this movie?
The movie is very. I think the movie, for one, has some good special effects, but it's still dated. It's still a dated film, I think. But the movie, just to start off the Star Trek kind of movies. I mean, there's the show before, right? Yeah. Yeah, so there's still fans after the movie, but it was just such a bland movie.
It's so boring. Like, nothing really happens. There's no excitement, no action. It's very much an extended episode of the show. Even though it has a much higher budget, like the special effects are great, like you said, it doesn't feel very exciting.
It's very slow.
Yes, very slow moving. There's even a 5-minute shot of the Enterprise, which is well, why do we need that?
I almost just kind of forget it in the series, because if you don't watch that one, I think you don't need to watch that one almost.
Yeah, it's kind of disconnected because they have different uniforms in that movie. They have it's a different design to the whole thing, so it's almost totally unrelated.
I just wouldn't even recommend it.
Yeah, but if you're interested, you should definitely see it. Yeah, it used to be on Netflix. They took it off now.
Yeah, of course. For Beyond.
Then 3 years later, they followed that one up with Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. This is the fan favorite. This is the one that everybody loves, and I like it. It's definitely very good, but it's not my favorite. Andrew, what do you think?
Well, I just have to give credits that I think Khan is the best villain in the Star Trek franchise I've seen. I think the movie's very good. I think it's just such a big step up from seeing the motion picture that I just loved it so much. But after watching all the other movies, I still think the movie's very good, but it's definitely not the best one.
I feel like this series gets more entertaining as it goes, almost.
It's one of those rare series where you just gotta keep holding on because it gets better and better.
Yeah. Wrath of Khan is good. I really like the villain. The score by James Horner is one of the best ever.
The Star Trek scores are good. Yeah. The new and the old one.
Yeah. But this one is still somewhat slow to me. There's still not that much action. I wanted to see Kirk and Khan meet face to face. That never happens in this movie. They're all just talking on screen, kind of. But it's a good movie. It's got a good ending with spoilers, Spock dying. Yeah, classic Trek film.
Yeah, I think it's a good film. There might not be enough action, but it's entertaining enough that I think you'll enjoy it.
Next, we've got Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. Now, this one used to be my favorite one, but after more consideration, it's not. But it still is one of my favorite ones. I do really like it. The main problem with it for me is it's kind of strange.
It is, but it is my favorite.
Because McCoy is possessed by Spock through the whole movie, and that's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But it is, yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny how Christopher Lloyd's in it.
Playing a Klingon.
Yeah, I was like, because I can always remember that voice of Doc Brown. Like, I can never, like,
Yeah.
it just was funny watching it. But I think the movie it really stepped up those first two ones. I think it had good bad guys in it. I think it had good action. I think it just had an interesting premise, and I would never found myself bored in that one. I think that, I don't know, I really enjoyed it.
And I kind of like the adventure and how they have to, like, they steal the Enterprise, and then at the end of the movie they blow it up.
And I like how it's not all on the ship.
Yeah.
Because
they go on the planet. There's more adventure. There's more adventure to it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good one. Next is Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. This is a different Star Trek movie. They're not really in space that much. Almost the entire movie they're in the 80s in San Francisco looking for whales. I really like this one.
Me too.
Yes.
I think it doesn't feel like a Star Trek film, but can I just say it's very good and very entertaining.
Very fun.
It's just a very fun film, and yes, it does. You can feel the 80s just hardcore.
Yes, very much. It's just fun to see the Enterprise interacting with 80s culture, and I don't know, it's a fun movie, it's a good movie. It's got a good story to it, like they're trying to get these whales because this orb or something in space is giving off whale signals and it's threatening to destroy Earth.
Yeah, that part was kind of weird to me.
It's kind of weird, but it still is good, I guess.
It's original, but it was like at first it's like, wait, what? Like I was kind of confused with like why they were going there, but it made sense over time.
And I do like how in this movie they don't have the Enterprise; they have a Klingon ship.
It's like a green kind of ship.
Yeah, they have. I think that's cool how they're kind of going rogue in this movie. They're not with the Federation in this one. So
and in other films,
really cool.
they've had other ships too, just like from other species.
Yeah. So next is Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. Everyone hates this movie. It's very frowned upon by the fans and just people in general. But let's get into what we think about it. Andrew, start us off.
I'll say it's not as bad as the motion picture, but I just there's parts of this movie I really did like. I actually did, and I don't agree with like a Rotten Tomato score if you really want to go off that. But this movie, I think, like after seeing Khan and you saw those the third one and the fourth one, I think it just was such a step down. The whole thing about God was kind of a weird premise. There's some really good like parts to it, but I didn't really like it, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, I think it's definitely like kind of separated from the other movies. Like it doesn't quite fit in. You can really feel a different director in this movie, and you know it feels kind of short too. Like it's kind of a short movie. It doesn't feel like there's enough there. But there's some action sequences that I like. I like the whole conflict with the Enterprise being hijacked by Spock's brother. I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a little underrated, but I'm not saying it's great or anything. But I do like it.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I just didn't like it as much as you.
Yeah. Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country was the last of the original crew films. I never even heard what you thought of this movie.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I thought it was the perfect way to end the series, the motion picture series. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought the story was really good. And it was just so great to see these characters kind of closed, but you know they're gonna do more after that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I think it probably would be my second favorite. It was that good.
I do really, really enjoy the story. It's got a great plot to it for sure. And I like how they like Kirk and Bones have to like get exiled to that ice planet. I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. It's not my favorite one, but I do really like it. Yeah, but it closes out the original 6 pretty well. And yeah, so that's the end of the original 6 that he's seen. Now I'll briefly give my thoughts on the Next Generation films. Starting off with Star Trek Generations. This one is actually my favorite Star Trek movie because most people don't think so. Like, don't think it's that good, but I do really like it because I think it has a great plot with the Nexus beacon or whatever. I don't know what it really is, but I do think it's a really great plot. I like to see Kirk and Picard and the cast of the Next Generation kind of meeting, and overall, I really like it.
Do you like the Next Generation cast?
I do like, yeah, they're good. I just prefer the original cast.
And would you recommend this to people that like the original? Like, I haven't seen them. Like, would you recommend it to the people that like the motion picture?
Yeah, because it has Kirk in the movie, and it has his death. I mean, to spoil that.
The movie's been out long enough.
It's been out for 22 years, so you've had time. Next, this is the one everybody loves, Star Trek First Contact. Overall, I think this one's pretty overrated, to be honest. I do really like how they go back in time to when they first invented the warp drive or whatever. I do think that's cool, but overall, it's overrated. I would never really buy it because I don't like it that much. And the next one is Star Trek Insurrection, another one that people really don't like, but I watched it for the first time this year and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it had a good plot. I don't know, just it had a good story to it and I enjoyed it, but there's not really much to say about it other than that. And then the last of the Next Generation movies is Star Trek Nemesis. Pretty bad, I'll be honest. I kind of agree with the Rotten Tomatoes score on this one because Tom Hardy was not that good in this movie.
Oh, Tom Hardy was in it.
Yeah, he's the villain.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Back before he was like strong. He's pretty skinny in this movie actually. But anyways, he doesn't do a very good job as the villain. It just felt pretty stale, I'll be honest. I was very disconnected and unplugged for this whole movie, really. I was just kind of like, okay. It started off okay, but then it just went downhill. Now I'll bring you back to the conversation.
Here we go.
The Abrams movies, Star Trek, 2009. This is probably my second or third favorite of all of them. I do really like this one. It's actually my first Blu-ray I ever bought was this movie.
Nice.
And I think it perfectly reboots the franchise. It has, the new kind of a prequel but parallel universe cast, and then Leonard Nimoy is in there too.
Yeah.
It's great. What do you think?
I think it's fantastic. I think it was the best way because after the Next Generation kind of series, it didn't really ever kick up and really get people excited.
No.
Once it kind of failed, they had to bring Star Trek back in a new way, and I thought J.J. Abrams did a fantastic job bringing the new and the old kind of together.
And he brings his distinct directorial style to it, and kind of makes it more shiny and
lens flary,
fresh, looking, and more action, but also keeping that good Trek storyline going.
Yeah, I think the villain's fine. Everyone has a problem with the villain. I don't really see a big problem with that. But I think this new cast we've had in these J.J. Abrams films is really good. I think definitely motion picture. I like them more, but man, I think they picked the perfect cast for these new movies. And it's a really exciting new adventure in the series.
Yes. Now the second one in the reboots is Star Trek Into Darkness with Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. Why? Anyways, I know you really like this one. Why don't you start it off?
Well, I don't like it as much as the first one.
No.
I think it is... I'll get into that later. But I think the movie takes a step down, I agree, but I still really enjoy it. I think it doesn't always feel like a Star Trek movie, more of an action film.
I totally agree.
But I still enjoy it for what it is, because going back to, I cannot remember the one where they had the whale one, what's that one called?
Voyage Home.
Voyage Home. Yes, that one didn't also feel like a Star Trek movie, but I accept it for what it is, even though it's not true Star Trek. It's still entertaining and a good time watching it, but it is a step down from the first one.
I totally agree. It's a step down. I do enjoy it because it has some good action. It has a pretty good backstory for Khan in this movie, but I don't know. It doesn't feel as fresh or as interesting as the original Star Trek movie. This one is just kind of. It looks beautiful on Blu-ray. I'll give it that, but I don't know. I don't love it too much.
It does kind of feel like a remake of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
In some parts, it's
I'd rather watch Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. Me too. I think it's just they should have gone with a new, fresh story, and they just kind of remade it, almost. Like there's different parts, of course, but
Yeah.
it felt like a remake. But
I definitely think it's overrated though. Everyone's all, oh, it's a great sequel, best sequel of all time. No.
no. But would you recommend it to just like if they like the first Star Trek movie?
Yeah.
Because it's not bad.
Yeah, go ahead and watch it. And then now the latest one that we just reviewed, go check out that review. We're going to kind of just briefly go over this one in terms of the other Star Trek movies. Star Trek Beyond, which is the third one. Andrew, even though we already reviewed it, what do you think about this movie in context with the other ones?
Yeah, if you want more in depth, you can watch our review on that. I personally, I'm gonna probably be the not the major being the major demographic here, but I think it is the worst of the Star Trek
Ooh.
new J.J. Abrams kind of films. It's not bad. I think it's very good, but it does lack on story. It lacks on story. There's not
Slightly.
yeah. It's
Slightly. I do think it has a good story though.
nah. I'm gonna disagree. I think the villain was not amazing, and the story was just very. It was very like. I've seen it before. It wasn't really that original.
The villain was unexplained. I'd kind of say.
Yeah, I think the characters do an amazing job. I think the movie looks fantastic. I think the action scenes are good. It's just the story lacked on my part, and that's just my opinion. But it's definitely you should watch it.
It's a good adventure, I think.
Yeah.
It feels kind of more like an original series episode.
Yeah, but that's just my problem. It's just there wasn't anything. Well, okay, you can argue this on me that Into Darkness wasn't original, but
yeah,
I
definitely like it.
I don't.
I like it way more than Into Darkness, but not as much as the original.
Mm-hmm. But I still think you should go see it. If you want to go see it, take the code.
So Andrew, now that we've finished reviewing all of them, let's do our quick top 5. What is your top 5 of the Star Trek films?
Okay, I'm just gonna go of all Star Trek films.
Yes, that you've seen.
Okay. I was not prepared. Do you want to just go when I can think about it? I was not prepared for this.
Okay. Well, I can start off with. It's easier for me to start off with number 1.
Me too.
Then get to the number 5. So I think I'll do that. So my number 1 favorite is Star Trek Generations, as I've mentioned. I just really like the blending of the cast. I think it has a great plot. I just really like it. Number 2 is probably Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. I really like this one. It's very entertaining, as we mentioned. Number 3, Star Trek, the newest one. Star Trek 2009. Great movie, great flick. Number 4, Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I really like it. Kind of strange, but it is very good. And then number 5, Star Trek Beyond. I do think it's great. I really enjoy it. Can't wait to get the Steelbook.
Okay, I'll do my. Are you gonna get the Steelbook on that one?
I'm going to, because I have the Into Darkness Steelbook.
Oh, okay. I'm at number 1. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go with the original J.J. Abrams film, Star Trek. I love it. I love it to pieces. It looks great. It's a great movie. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Star Trek 3.
The Search for Spock.
Search for Spock. See, I just watched this. I didn't even think about the names. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Star Trek 6.
The Undiscovered Country.
Yep. Number 4, Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
Mm-hmm.
And coming in at number 5. Wait a sec. Did I do that wrong? No, I did that wrong. Okay. Star Trek.
3.
Just 3. Star Trek 6. Star Trek 3. No, 4. Star Trek 2. Wrath of Khan.
Okay, so your number 5 is The Wrath of Khan.
Khan. And then 4 is the one with the whales.
Voyage Home. Okay.
Yeah, you know. Names.
I'd say we both have pretty good lists. We didn't include either the ones that people hate. Like we didn't have Into Darkness. We didn't have Motion Picture or Final Frontier or Nemesis. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching this fun video we wanted to make. There's really no reason for any more, but we thought it'd be fun.
Yeah,
So tell us what you think of the Star Trek movies. Do you prefer the Abrams ones, the Next Generation ones, or the original cast ones? And then just give us your top 5 too. I'm curious to see it.
And if you got the code, make sure to tell us.
Yes.
That's really it. Just put your top 5 down below. This is
Yeah.
Movie Maniacs. Signing out.